Hello, thank you so much for joining me for today's Vinyasa Flow class. I really appreciate you being here. If you haven't already, if you would, please hit subscribe and start to follow my channel. I really appreciate your support. And if you hit that little bell, you'll even be sent updates when new videos are posted. So we'll go ahead and get started. Sitting in easy pose. Sitting up nice and tall through the spine, reaching the crown of the head towards the sky. Maybe resting your hands, palms lightly on your knees. And if you're comfortable, go ahead and gently closing your eyes. Coming into the present moment and feeling your energy begin to settle. Giving yourself permission to take this time to allow all the outside pressures and to-do lists to just temporarily drop away. Bringing your attention within and finding that connection. That connection with yourself. Connecting with your breath and connecting with the sensations in your body. Bringing your attention to your breath. Feeling the gentle rise on the inhale and the release of the exhale. Feeling grounded. Bringing your attention to the areas of your body making contact with the surface beneath. Your feet, ankles, calves, thighs, sit bones, and even the palms of your hands. Feeling the weight of your body. Feeling the gentle pull of gravity, yet feeling fully supported by the surface beneath. And this morning, this evening, this afternoon, we're going to gently practice alternate nostril breathing. So you'll take your hand, keeping the pinky finger out and the thumb out, and gently bending the other three fingers. We're going to inhale through the left nostril fully, while plugging the right nostril with your thumb. Then we'll switch sides, plugging the left nostril and breathing out through the right. in through the right fully and switching. Plugging the right nostril and breathing out through the left. Maybe keeping your eyes closed. And take several rounds of alternate nostril breathing. Always ending with the out breath through the right nostril. Take one more round. Alternate nostril breathing is a great technique for calming the mind and body and engaging the parasympathetic nervous system. So when you're ready, we'll sit up nice and tall and we'll gently bring chin to chest and begin half neck rolls. Slowly and gently rocking the head back and forth, side to side, beginning to gently open up the neck and release tension. Feeling all the sensations in your body sitting up tall through the spine. And if it feels good to you, going ahead and bringing those neck circles all the way around. Throughout today's practice, staying very aware of your body and how you are feeling. Maybe switching directions. Always being mindful that in yoga we want to feel the stretch, we want to feel the sensations, but never to the point of pain. And coming back to neutral. We'll take our gaze to the right and back to center and to the left. And back to center, and doing that once again. So if ever throughout your practice, back to center and to the left, you're feeling strain or pain, just gently coming out of the pose. And you always have the option to move into child's pose. Reaching the arms up overhead, and taking your gaze up, feeling that stretch, maybe interlacing your fingers and pressing up. Taking a deep inhale, and on the exhale, bringing the fingertips to the earth. Just lightly tenting your fingers on the mat, and taking right ear to right shoulder. Feeling that stretch in the left side of your neck. Maybe reaching up with the right hand and deepening that stretch. Reaching your left fingertips towards the mat. And continuing to breathe. Staying connected with the breath throughout today's practice. Left ear, left shoulder. Reaching the right fingertips, reaching up on the left hand. Maybe continuing to breathe long, slow, deep breaths in and out of your nose. And release. We'll reach the arms up and twist. Left hand to right knee. Right hand goes back behind the tailbone, sitting up nice and tall, and taking a gaze over the right shoulder. Continuing to breathe. And release. Reaching up once again and bringing right hand, left knee. Left hand behind the tailbone, sitting up tall and just taking a twist in the upper body, gazing over the left shoulder. And release. Coming up once again. And we'll make our way to tabletop. Spreading your fingertips nice and wide. Placing your wrists directly beneath your shoulders. Placing your knees directly beneath your hips. Planting your feet nice and firmly on the mat. And we'll take a few rounds of cat and cow, dropping the belly towards the earth. Pressing through the palms. Reaching the crown towards the sky and gazing forward. And rounding, beginning with the tailbone, rounding through the spine. Once again, pressing through the palms and reaching. Just bringing chin to chest. And connecting breath to movement. And continuing to roll through cat and cow at your own pace of breath. Coming back to a neutral spine, we'll balance the tabletop. So we're going to place our weight in our left hand, reaching forward with the right and reaching the left foot back. Balancing here and engaging the core. Taking 3 breaths here. And we'll round and tap elbow to knee 3 times. Rounding, tapping 1, reaching back, and 2, reaching back, and 3. Coming back to balance, we'll go into swan pose. So we're going to take a bend in the left leg, reaching back with the right hand, placing the foot in the palm, keeping the shoulders forward towards the front of the mat, keeping the hips towards the front of the mat, and pressing that foot into the palm, reaching up, feeling that opening in the left hip flexor, and release. And we'll do that on the opposite side, left arm out, right foot back, and balance for 3 breaths. And rounding, elbow to knee, tap 3, 2, 1. Coming back to balance, bending the right leg, reaching back with the left hand, grasping the foot and pressing up. Pressing the foot into the hand. Feeling that opening in the right hip flexor. And release. We'll take our big toes to touch and move into extended child's pose. Bringing the knees wide to the mat, to the edges of the mat, setting back. And melting into this pose here for 5 breaths. Oh, feels good. And we'll thread the needle. Right arm under left shoulder, right shoulder to the mat, right cheek to the mat. Option here to bind, taking your left hand around your back and placing it, grasping onto your upper thigh, or continuing to reach out. You're in a bind, releasing, bringing the left hand back out long, and switching sides. Right arm out, left arm sneaks under the right shoulder. Left shoulder and left cheek to the mat. And option to bind. And feeling that opening in the shoulders. Bind, bringing the right arm out long, and reaching out with the left. Palms are shoulder width apart, and we're going to come up through tabletop. Tuck all 10 toes and press up into our first downward facing dog. Taking any movement that feels good to you here in your first downward facing dog. Maybe walking the dog. We're just finding some stillness here. Grounding through all 10 fingertips. Pressing the fingertips into the mat. Grounding through all 10 toes. Maybe coming up on your 10 toes and pressing through the fingertips and the palms. And gently bringing the heels towards the earth as far as is comfortable for you. At this point in the day, in your body, and finding some stillness here. Releasing any tension in the neck. And taking your gaze between your hands, we're going to step forward into ragdoll pose. So bringing the feet hip distance apart, allowing the torso to relax and rest on your thighs with a generous bend in your knees. Maybe taking opposite elbow and opposite hand. Feeling that opening, finding space in the spine, gently opening through the hamstrings. Maybe rocking back and forth, side to side, gently here, if that feels good to you. Maybe coming up slightly off the thighs and bending one knee and straightening the other. Releasing the hands to the backs of the ankles and gently pulling your forehead towards your knees in a forward fold. And slowly rising up to mountain. Engaging as you go, engaging the thighs, feeling a lift through the kneecaps. Engaging the core, engaging the glutes. Taking a roll of the shoulders down the back. Palms facing forward. Feeling nice and strong in mountain, reaching the crown of the head towards the sky. Feeling grounded through your feet. And reaching the arms up overhead. And taking the gaze up. And maybe bumping the hips forward slightly and taking a slight back bend here if that feels good to you. Rising back up, palms together, crescent to the right. Feeling the opening in the left side body. Coming back to neutral and crescent to the left. And coming back to neutral. We'll swan dive down to a forward fold. Rising up to a halfway lift. Reaching the crown of the head forward, nice flat back. Coming down, planting the hands on the mat and stepping the right foot back. We're going to take a few breaths in runner's lunge, opening up through that right hip flexor. And we'll drop the right knee down to the mat and drop the top of the right foot. And reaching the arms up to crescent lunge. Shoulders down away from the ears. Option to place your hands on your knee. We're going to bring our left hand to the inside of the right foot, palm to the mat, reaching up with the left and taking the gaze up to your left fingers for a slight twist here. Coming back up. And we'll take our palms to the mat. Come back up on the right toes. And step the left foot back to meet the right. And come into a downward dog. And take a few breaths here. We'll step the right foot forward to a runner's lunge. Taking our gaze forward, lifting through the chest, opening through that left hip flexor. And dropping the left knee and the top of the left foot to the mat. Rising up, crescent lunge. And taking the left palm to the inside of the right foot and taking your gaze up to the left fingertips. Also have the option to rest your hand and your arm on your right knee. And bringing the right hand down, we'll lift up onto our left toe and step the right foot back. And we'll take the option here to flow through Vinyasa, coming forward into a high plank and lowering down to the mat. Chaturanga if it's in your practice. Upward dog or cobra. And tucking the toes and coming back to downward facing dog. We're going to set up for warrior one. So take the right leg high and taking your gaze behind your right thumb. Stepping your right foot behind your right thumb, however you need to get there. Aligning your ankle beneath your knee. Taking a 45-degree angle on your back foot and your feet are hip distance apart. Rising through the chest. And coming up into a nice strong warrior one. You can sink down into that front knee, just taking care that your knee doesn't go over your toes. We'll drop our hands down behind our back, interlace our fingers, pressing the palms towards the earth for a chest expansion. Taking the gaze up and taking a few breaths here. And hinging forward at the hips and bringing the torso down towards the thigh, lifting up with your back arms behind you in humble warrior. Just taking this as far as your body wants to do at this moment. Listening to your body, never feeling pain or strain. And then hinging back up nice and slow. Grounding through the feet. Releasing the palms and reaching back up. And we'll bring our hands down on either side of the right foot. Stepping the right foot back to meet the left in downward dog and flow through Vinyasa. Very nice. This time we'll take the left leg high, taking our gaze behind our left thumb and stepping the left foot behind the left thumb. Taking warrior one on the opposite side, 45-degree angle on your back right foot and lifting through the chest. Shoulders down away from the ears. Nice strong warrior one. Dropping the hands back behind the body. Interlacing the fingers and pressing the palms to the earth. Opening through the chest. And taking the gaze up for chest expansion. Hinging forward at the hips. Humble warrior. And slowly rising back up. And releasing the palms, arms up. And bringing the palms back down to the mat. Stepping the left foot back to meet the right in downward dog. And we'll come forward into a high plank. And slowly lower all the way down to the mat. Releasing. And we'll do 3 cobras. We're going to start with a low cobra, placing the palms beneath the shoulders, elbows tucked in towards the body, and just lifting through the chest and rib cage. Releasing all the way down, bringing the forehead to the mat, releasing all tension in the entire body. Stepping the hands back about an inch, chest width level. Again, tucking the elbows towards the body and lifting up to a mid-cobra, bringing the belly up off the mat. Shoulders down away from the ears. And release fully, all the way to the mat. Stepping the hands back even with the rib cage. And we're going to rise all the way up, keeping a micro bend in your elbows, bringing the thighs up off the mat. Back down once again. Bringing the hands beneath the shoulders, tucking 10 toes, And if necessary, coming through tabletop or coming all the way into downward dog. We're gonna set up for warrior one. So we're gonna step the right foot center. I'm sorry, warrior two. Reaching the left leg high and taking our gaze between our hands. We're gonna step the right foot right in front, the left foot in front of the right. And take a 90-degree angle on the back foot. Rising up, opening to the side for a nice strong warrior two. Shoulders are down away from your ears. Taking the gaze over the front fingers. Flipping the front palm and reaching up for a warrior. Reversed warrior or peaceful warrior. And coming back to warrior two. We're going to straighten that front leg and come into triangle pose. So reaching the left fingertips towards the earth and taking the gaze up to the right fingers. And coming back up to warrior two. Windmilling the hands to either side of the front foot and stepping the left foot back to meet the right. Warrior two on the opposite side, left foot center, reaching the right leg high, taking the gaze between the hands and stepping the right foot in front of the right. However you need to get here. And taking a turn of the left foot to 90 degrees. Rising up to a nice strong warrior two. Being mindful to stack the knee over your right ankle. Sinking down into your right knee, but being mindful not to take your knee over the toes. Flipping your front palm and reaching back. Reverse warrior. Coming back to warrior two. Straightening that left knee and bending down to triangle pose. Coming back up to warrior two. And we'll windmill our hands back down to either side of our front foot, taking a twist on the left. And we're going to step this time our left foot forward to meet the right. Coming into forward fold. And we're going to come into chair pose. So sinking the hips down and reaching up with the arms. Airplane chair, so we're going to drop the arms back behind. And coming back into chair pose. And rising all the way up. Now we're going to do a little balancing here. So we're going to bring our right knee up to standing staff. Taking your gaze forward. You always have the option here to wrap your hands around your knee. Or bringing your arms out to the side. Now we're going to take and we're going to go into airplane pose. So attempting to stay balanced and bringing that right foot back and coming forward into airplane pose. Taking your gaze forward, lifting through the chest. Trying to bring the chest parallel. And coming back up. Back into standing staff. Have the option here to reach your right hand and wrap your fingers around your big toe, keeping the left arm out long and bringing your right foot long and maybe opening up to the right. Coming back to center and bringing the right foot back down to the earth. Very good. We'll do that on the opposite side. So lifting the left knee, standing staff. Finding your balance, finding a place in front of you to focus your attention, to focus your gaze, a drishti. And we'll lean back into airplane. Balancing on your right foot. And just doing your very best. Gazing forward, lifting through the chest. Coming back up to standing staff. Wrapping your left fingers around your left toe. Bringing your right arm out for balance. Straightening the left leg and opening up to the side. Coming back to center and release. Very nice. We're going to make our way down to the mat. And we'll start in a seated staff. Pointing the toes actively towards the sky. Grounding through the sit bones, reaching all through the spine, reaching the crown of the head towards the sky. And just taking a moment here to recenter. Taking a few breaths. Reaching up with the arms overhead and hinging forward at the hips to a forward fold. Nice flat back, coming forward as far as your body wants to come, and then releasing the hands. You can grasp your feet and deepen the stretch, or place your palms on either side of the feet. And when you're ready, dropping the head and neck forward, releasing tension, and feeling that stretch deepen. Placing the palms on the mat, slowly walking the hands back towards the body, hinging up at the hips. We're going to take a bend in the right knee and place the sole of the foot onto the mat. Option to step the foot to the outside of the left thigh. And we're going to wrap the left hand around the right knee, reaching up and bringing that right hand behind the body. Reaching up nice and tall and taking your gaze over the right shoulder for a nice twist. Releasing head, neck, and shoulders. And we will reach up and switch legs. Bending that left foot, placing the foot on the outside of the right thigh, reaching the right arm around, and bringing the left hand behind the body. Sitting up nice and tall and gazing over the left shoulder. Releasing head, neck, and shoulders. And bringing the legs out long once again. I'm going to bring soles of the feet to touch for butterfly or cobbler's pose. Sitting up nice and tall, hinging forward at the hips, grasping onto the feet or the ankles, pressing the elbows into the insides of the knees or the calves, straight flat back. Hinging forward as far as your body will take you today. And releasing head, neck, and shoulders. And bringing your nose towards your toes. Rising up just slightly and walking your hands out in front of you. Stretching the arms forward and reaching over the toes, dropping the head and shoulders. And we'll walk our hands over to the right side, just feeling that opening in the right side body. Just walking the hands, feeling that opening, and when you get as far as you can go, dropping the shoulders, dropping the head, releasing tension in the neck. And walking the hands gently back to center. Taking one breath here. And walking hands to the left. Feeling that opening in the right side body. And bringing the hands back to center and walking them back towards the body, hinging back up at the hips. We'll take our legs out long and just loosen up a little bit. Take the soles of the feet to the mat and gently rock back, bringing our body all the way down to the mat. Taking a roll of the shoulders down away from the ears. We'll walk our feet to the outer edges of the mat. And just taking the arms out to a capital T, windshield wiper. The knees from side to side. Loosening up the hips. And walking the feet, heels back towards the glutes, stacking your ankles beneath your knees, bringing the palms to either side of the body and pressing up through bridge, slightly tucking the chin to chest and lifting through the hips. releasing just to a hover and coming up once again. And releasing the hips all the way down to the mat. Bringing knees to chest, wrapping your arms around your knees, giving your body a little hug, rocking side to side. And bringing the feet up, opening up the knees, grasping your big toes with peace fingers, happy baby. Rocking side to side, really grounding through and feeling the entire spine, making contact with the earth, with the mat. And releasing into our final resting pose, Shavasana. Feet long on the mat, legs a comfortable distance apart, allowing the feet to fall open. Bringing the arms a comfortable distance away from the body, rolling the shoulders away from the ears. Palms up for energy, palms down for grounding. Releasing any control over your breath and allowing your body to return to its natural rhythm. Releasing tension in the jaw and gently closing your eyes. Taking a scan through the body, relaxing the muscles with your focused attention. Beginning with your toes, your feet, your ankles, calves, knees, thighs, hips and pelvis, tummy and lower back, upper back and chest, shoulders and shoulder blades, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists to fingertips. Relaxing through the throat and neck, all the muscles in your face and your entire head. Feeling the weight of your body melting into the mat. And taking a few more breaths here. we'll bring our soles of the feet to the mat. And gently drop them off to one side, rolling onto your side and using your arm as a pillow. Taking a moment here to cultivate a sense of gratitude and appreciation. Maybe bringing to mind something from today's practice that made you feel good, maybe strong, maybe relaxed and focused. Feeling gratitude for your body and feeling gratitude for the coming together of body, mind, and spirit, a practice of yoga. And shining the light of gratitude and appreciation and self-love back to your own heart. Appreciating and acknowledging taking this time for self-care. And when you're ready, slowly pressing your palms into the earth. Coming back to a seat. Thank you so much for joining me as you move throughout your day. May you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, and peace in your heart. From my heart to yours, namaste.